In the 1940s, Lockwell Enterprises was a company that made guns for World War II soldiers. They helped out the United States, Britain, and Russia at the time. The company was ran by Clarence Lockwell, who was a very good CEO of the company until his retirement in 1965, giving the position to his daughter, Pam Lockwell. Pam did an amazing job following in her father's shoes, but that was until she met the Zula Patrol in 1973. The Zula Patrollers at this time were Bula's mother, Wizzy and Wig's parents, and 4 others with unknown identities. Bula's mother and the rest of the team weren't very keen on Pam Lockwell. They described her as a strange individual and almost mentally disturbed, and it also didn't help how their weapons kept going missing every time Pam borrowed them for an experiment. And it only made things worse when there were rumors about Pam hiring very bad people to rob citizens of Zulapolis. The Zula Patrol and higher branches of Zula launched an investigation on Lockwell Enterprises in 1975. In 1978, after a few years of investigation, everything narrowed down to one suspect, Pam Lockwell. At first, the Zula Patrol were really good friends with Pam, but at this point, they decided to cut the friendship for good. When Pam heard about the friendship being dissolved, she was angry about it. However, Pam got over it in 1986 when she retired. This unfortunately led to one of the various reasons why Zulians could not meet humans in the rule book. On a more positive note, after Pam retired, her daughter took over as well as her fiancé. Their names were Penny and Casey Lockwell, and it looked like the business was going right back to where it once was, a great and reliable company, making and testing weapons without the corrupt people. The two proved to be much better CEOs than Pam. The Lockwell family decided to build their own headquarters on a hill near a mountain in the state of Illinois. They also had 2 children of their own, who were twins, Gary and Jerry Lockwell. However, they had very different personalities from each other, but we'll get to that in a moment. The family decided to have their own militia because they were such good friends with the U.S. Army. They decided to train military soldiers for their militia, so for when they go into the army, they'll be prepared. For the rest of the 1980s to the 1990s, the Lockwell family was very well trusted and won many awards, and were given many military jets, guns, and stuff. They became back to them trustworthy selves. It wasn't just that though. The planet of Zula gained the Lockwell's trust once again, which was even better. In 1988, the Zula Patrol went to go visit the Lockwell family, and the Lockwell family did the same in return. And what I mean by the family, I mean just the parents. It looked like everything was going great, not just for the planet of Zula or the Zula Patrol, but the Lockwell family too. Everything was going back to normal. From the late 80s to the late 90s was probably the best years for the Lockwell Enterprises. Sharing weapons, teaching each other things that they never knew, and all that other stuff. Everything was going as splendid as cake. Many considered these the golden years for Lockwell Enterprises and the family legacy itself. However, in the early 2000s, things took a dark turn.